the greatest crime that's ever been done to black people in modern day history is not the killing of slavery, is not the incarceration in prison, is not the drug addiction. The greatest crime ever done to black people in modern day history was the adaptation of integration. Integration, while praised today as the greatest thing that happened to us, actually became the greatest nightmare for us.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
And we got wiped out.
Yeah. On 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps.
A very, very important part of every group of people on this earth, very important part, is their security. Any leader of any empire or country or state, security is always on their mind.
Yes.
You don't want to be invaded. You don't want your people taken away, your women raped, your children put into slavery. So you have to always have a security system. And our security system in ancient times was the shofar. That was our way to warn the people. We would get it, and we had a whole law and a whole set of sounds that we utilized to make sure that we, in fact, knew when danger was coming. We had sounds for gatherings, sounds for war, sounds for bringing in high holy days, sounds for knowing where the new moon was so that we could keep our calendars up to par. We had sounds for it, and so it became a very important part of Hebrew Israelite culture. Later on adopted by Jewish culture.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
Yeah.
And the menorah.
And the menorah. The menorah, which also is special because these things we're talking about are things that were ordered by the Lord himself. The Almighty ordered us when building the temple to build the menorah. And what the menorah is a 7-candle stick device set up, to light up the temple. And the reason it was so important, one, of course, you needed light. There was no such thing as electricity. But it was important too because the services of the Lord at that time, sacrifices and so forth, had to be done in a timely manner. It wasn't like you could say, well, we don't have no oil, so we're not going to carry out the Lord's business. You know what I mean? We're not going to sacrifice for sins and certain things. And so our menorah became a big part of what we did. And then it really became a big part of what we did to maintain the temple when the Greeks came in and attempted to overthrow us. When you go back and read about the Maccabean brothers, circa 138 AD, BC to AD, when you go back and look at the time that they ruled, the Greeks had come over and tried to wipe us out as a people, and almost did, and taking over Jerusalem and taking over the city of David and brought in Greek culture. And the Hashmonean brothers got together, the Maccabean brothers got together and went to war with the Greeks. Another part of black history that never gets discussed. Those biblical men fought the Greeks and conquered the Greeks and pushed the Greeks out of the Middle East back into the Greek states. And when they did that, they had to rebuild the temple. And when they had to not so much rebuild the temple, but rededicate it, meaning they had to clean it up from its Greek transformation. And a part of that transformation meant that they had to light that menorah for 7 days to clean up that temple and to represent that this temple was back, because the Greeks, of course, had taken everything out of it, partially burned it, and kept it pitch black. And so that's why the menorah during these times, the what we call the high holy days, because of course anybody studying their history in the Bible, and the Bible, by the way, if I could just embellish a little bit.
Sure, please.
The Bible is the greatest record ever left to man on this earth. It is an amazing document. It is the one document that can transform lives. And so it's so important for us to have, especially as black people. And it's such a shame that it speaks so much to us and to our color, literally. And it's said and taught that there's no color in the Bible. And so with that understanding, we get a good history of who we are and where we're going and where we should be. And because of it, we can grab back to these traditions, because the holidays we celebrate today, if we look at every single one in today's society, every single holiday is about ourselves. Christmas, about me getting gifts. Valentine's, about me getting gifts. You know, these are holidays that support our own personal vanity. When in fact, the high holy days, or the holidays that are found in the Bible, are holidays where we reverence the Lord for things he did for us that otherwise could never have been done. A lot of people take lightly the book of Exodus and how we were taken out of Egypt. Living in America and having read about the Exodus of Egypt, I'm 40 years in the game, and I am still overwhelmed when I read the records of us in Exodus, simply because I know I'm living the exact same experience that the brothers and sisters lived under the tyranny of Egypt. And that tyranny is what has kept our mind from getting back to the Father and doing his will. And so by having his high holy days, we find out that we become much more appreciative to the great things he did. Imagine if tomorrow, if we woke up tomorrow and angels came down. This is just hypothetical. And angels came down and all of a sudden declared that we would have set up our own empire. Imagine the shock and the horror that we would go through. Imagine the transformation we would go through. But here's the amazing part. Imagine receiving our own identity, our own language, our own land, our own way of life. Imagine never being afraid to walk the street or get pulled over by a car, or to be redlined in a bank, or discriminated against in housing, or to be outright attacked by a police officer. Imagine that being gone and being able to master your identity. That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Those are the days that we should thank the Lord for. Those are the kind of days that he did great things for us. And so that's why we celebrate those holidays.
Understood. Thank you so much for that, man. I also want to hear your take on, what are your thoughts on the black church today?
Ooh, I was hoping you didn't ask that.
I was hoping I would.
We was having such a good conversation.
I had to ask you that, though.
I was hoping we didn't go there, because I didn't want to. I'm in the South. I'm in the Bible Belt. You know, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from outside. My vernacular is not always been the same.
Listen, I have to be a little objective.
But I see you have to scrutinize. I understand. You have to lay it to the line. But since you did,
yes, sir,
I will be equally honest. Okay?
Go right ahead, my brother.
Today's church has become a nightmare. Because, of course, no one has to, you don't have to read the Bible to see that it has become a big money scheme. But it is worse in this respect, that it has lost what it was needed for. When we came out of slavery, the church was needed for us to organize and gather, and to one, keep our morals, and to two, fight against those that were oppressing us. Unfortunately, we could have found our way to the scriptures and our identity and being the Hebrews, but instead, because we took on really white Christianity, we ended up being just like them. And we ended up losing those that would fight for us. The greatest crime that's ever been done to black people in modern day history is not the killing of slavery, is not the incarceration in prison, is not the drug addiction. The greatest crime ever done to black people in modern day history was the adaptation of integration. Integration, while praised today as the greatest thing that happened to us, actually became the greatest nightmare for us.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
And we got wiped out. And now we don't even have brothers who at least have a sense of the enemy and can fight to fight for us, because of course they now are fully enveloped in the idea that our solution comes from integrate. And so because of it, what happened? We began to accept everything. Now we got homosexuality. We got lesbianism. We got transsexualism. Now that'll be up there in a minute. We've got and then the ridiculous part about it is, black and white churches are not integrated.
No.
Across this entire country, black churches are separate, white churches are separate, yet the church idea and church preachers like Martin Luther King and others got together with this idea that we were going to integrate, and we lost everything. While we were taking on white Christianity, black businesses were being wiped out. While we were taking on, Christianity and the belief that Jesus died for everybody, we gave up all of our stance on all of our business. We lost our doctors, we lost our dentists, we lost our engineers, we lost the majority of our business people. You know what I mean? You can go to so many places. The brothers just took me to a Highway 147 in Durham. I'm ready to tattoo it on me, but it's against the law to tattoo on me, so I ain't gonna do it. But he took me through there to see, in living color, something us in the North know little about, the wiping out of a black Wall Street.
Oh, yes, sir.
These are all a part of us willingly giving ourselves to these people.
You also have the Wilmington Massacre too, as well.
The Wilmington Massacre, I can't wait to see
Tulsa,
that. Tulsa, the big one that everybody talks about, but Wilmington and the Durham one are just as big. And the Wilmington one is, I can't wait to get into, because that one was particularly egregious because it was a newspaper. It was our freedom of speech. It was our ability to speak out to the world, which is being censored right now with these social media sites. Here we go again. So it's the same type of thing. And so it's so important. And again, where are the fighters at? But we do have to understand that Christ said this: go in the highways and byways, because in his words, they that were bidden to the supper shall not taste of it. And these preachers in these churches, they're building them to the sky in size. The cars are getting bigger, the jewelry is getting flashier, but they're not bidden to this supper. So we had to go with. Now you lead right into what has brought us onto these street corners. We out on these street corners because now for Christ to get what he wants, he now needs new men that's willing to not be sold out. And here we are.
So I love it, man. I also love the fact that you alluded to everything that I pretty much have written down. Beautiful. So that means God's will was done. Because as I was writing, these are some of the things that I was going to ask you, but man, you nailed it, man.
So much is killing us from the church. The church is adopting abortion. Abortion. What's the total? How many they doing here? Last count?
Last count like 300 total.
300,000 black and Latino babies.
That's a huge number.
And the church is fully endorsing it. All the top preachers endorse it. All of them say a woman has the right. It's genocide. Where are the men that will stand up? And now, because we've got the scriptures, we're able to raise those brothers up again. We're able to do it again. And this time, we won't have to listen to a preacher that's bought off by some white organization. Because of course, the majority of churches, black churches today, are financed by, white church organizations. So they are basically, subject to them. So they can't really say the evil disparages that's being done to blacks. But we can.
It's banks.
You're right. And so here we are. And it's a beautiful thing to serve Christ now, straight off the street corner. It's a beautiful, and what's amazing is to see a young man like that, who, at one time, not him particularly, but at one time, could have been, you're right, age-wise, at one time, he passed by you 3 or 4 times with his gang tats on, and and on his way to prison, death, or some other horror, and then to see him time later standing on a corner with a Bible.
I think we'd rather see that. I think we'd rather see that.
If not, we're going to lose them all. We're going to be wiped out again.
Yeah, we'd rather see that.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Anything that can change. And this is one thing. That word will change you. And with the right leadership in front of it.
Oh, you're super kind, brother.
You can do a lot. I was just checking the brother out here. He had your next word for you.
Yeah.
That's soldier stuff.
That's right.
I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all on a different battle. And a lot of times we don't understand it. But it's okay, though.
That's right.
It's okay because we need that army in front of us.
We
may not know it right now. But I love what you said on the interview. I heard you say these are perilous times. So you got to be kind of radical with your message because this world is radical.
Indeed.
It's crazy out here, man.
Right.
I'm just looking at, when I look at generational gaps too, when I look at everything, when I was young, there were things we did, but I just don't remember us being.
It's bad, right?
It's different. But I love our young people, though.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it's different. It's different. So, yes, the message has to be radical. It has to be in your face.
Sure.
Whether you like what's being said or not.
Because they're certainly spending billions to bring their message.
Sure.
And their message is, wiping us out. You know what I mean? And, their message is leading us on that pipeline straight to prison and to death. And there's it's ridiculous for a modern society to have 2 million prisoners. That is insanity.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
It's insane for a modern society to have 300,000 abortions in the smallest ethnic group in the country. Is insane. They just built outside of St. Louis. They just built the first super abortion clinic.
What?
That's right, super abortion clinic, and they said that they can do now 11,000 abortions a year off of this super clinic. Okay, they said they got more beds and more and they built it right outside the city, and it's like the size of like 5 abortion clinics at one time. And it's state-of-the-art incinerators for the babies and all that. And here's the other sad part about it, if I could. I don't mean to just cut all in. But the other part about it is it's such a genocidal thing in this. It is the #1 source for body parts for stem cell research. It is the #1 source for university bodies for experimentation. And if we go back to the 1920s, universities used black men's bodies for experimentation. Right now, Harvard University still in their archives have books that are covered with black men's skin as book covers. There are shoes right now in the museums at Yale University by doctors and professors who did experimentations that are made from black men's skin.
Yeah.
And one particular doctor was quoted as saying he loves his nigger-made shoes because the skin is so soft and buttery. Mm-hmm. That's all he wore. And he was a doctor doing experiments and teaching other students how to do operations and experiments using black men's body. Like, we have become the food of this country. We are what they eat. Just the other day, I just got a report that, do you know that Mississippi, the state of Mississippi's prison system generates $3 billion a year.
Yeah.
$3 billion.
Yeah.
They're eating us. We're literally, they might as well cook us in an oven.
Yeah.
Because they're literally eating us.
Yeah.
And so, in this time, in this perilous time, it's the best time for Christ's disciples to shine. Mm-hmm. And so, we gonna shine.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
man, and
yes,
you
sir.
know, and that message, we will get that message through. Lord knows we good at that. We can argue that message, boy. We might piss you off,
but you can argue.
We can get that message to you. Eventually, you're gonna have to say, what are they talking about?
Yeah, exactly, man.
You know, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Commander General, I want to say thank you again.
Pleasure's all.
We got it. It's so much more, though, man.
Sure.
But we've got to do this again, sir.
Definitely.
I want to do this again. And then some of the things that you was dropping so many jewels, and I had so many questions, and I kept looking at the time. I was listening to what the brother said.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna have to save them for next time.
That's right.
But thank you for this short
so
time, and I'm looking forward to continuing this relationship.
Definitely.
As we continue to spread. This is a message of knowledge, of truth. And self-reflection too.
Sure.
You know, a lot of the things that you talk about, I pay attention. Sure. I started when the brother showed it to me. Mm-hmm. I think I probably watched quite a few of them. I went on and hit the subscribe button. I hit the subscribe button, brother, so I could really listen, grab my Bible, sit down, and really let this thing start kind of marinating. Because it's something about when you really go deep into it. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure. It changed. It literally, you have a life-changing moment. Sure. Literally. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I think the next time y'all do something, I definitely want to just pull up. Just to come pull up and just be in the midst of the brothers.
Oh, that would be great.
Because I love the behind the scenes. I got the chance to see the General, Commander General,
I appreciate that.
Regular brother.
That's all. That's all.
And you love people.
Oh man.
But you're gonna tell them the truth.
That's the only way to live. That's all I know. That's all we know. You know what I'm saying? That's all we know. Yes. And again, for me personally, if I could just be personal for a quick second. Bro. You know, seeing once again, growing up again in the project, I never believed that anything could change. And I know that there are millions of our brothers and sisters out there that see black people in their element, in their worst elements in many cases, and say, you can't do nothing with these niggas. they ain't gonna change.
Right.
And I was one of them. Mm. But when I saw the power of going into the depth of these records.
Yes, sir.
And I saw how relating it to us when I found out Christ was black. Yeah. You understand? And I saw brothers find out, and I saw how it put so much self-esteem in them. Man. And not just self-esteem to be vain, but self-esteem to have purpose, to have a reason to live. And when I saw that, to me myself, because I know I was 2 inches from losing everything, including my life, I said, damn, that's a big gain for them.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm hooked.
Yes, sir.
Hooked,
yes, sir. You know? This is beautiful, man. We could do this all day long.
We will. At another time.
Another time, brother.
Another time.
Well, we can do that. And let's tell the people how they can follow you. You know, and what you got coming up next.
Okay. ISUPK.com. That's ISUPK.com is our website. You can support us. You can donate to us. We have 50,000 videos on our website. Yeah. You can talk about and discuss any topic you want. You can sign up and get your own page. You can debate and be a part of the conversation and criticize and argue or whatever it is that you want to do.
Right on.
That's how you get in touch with us. Also, too, very, very important, April 1st, we got the convention center in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
We got Hebrew Israelites coming in from all over the world, from Europe, from the Caribbean, from Canada, from South America, and from all 50 states in the United States.
Yes.
I hope everybody would join us, man, on April 1st at sundown at the Raleigh Convention Center for the Lord's 54th Passover. We've been doing this 54 years as an organization.
Beautiful.
And so I pray everybody can make it out there, man.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an experience like you never had before.
Right on.
Thousands of people from all over the world in one room and nobody fighting.
That's beautiful, right?
That's right.
So listen, again, I want to say thank you again, Commander General, and all the brothers that came with you on today. I really do appreciate it.
Ross,
thank you guys for coming in, man. Appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
So listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Ross Sr. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohanna's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies.